Hi, hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. Now today I want to talk about 4 news related to crypto. So first we have crypto exchange OKEx refuses to bow to pressure to delist Bitcoin SV. So a bit of background first, right? So what happened was that there was a call by the community starting with CZ, founder and CEO of Binance, right? Then followed by Anthony Pompliano, another very influential crypto user and also pro-Bitcoiner. He's actually calling for all exchanges to actually delist Bitcoin SV. And why is that? It's mainly because, right? It's because of the founder of the project, Curated, right? And he is basically threatening to actually, sue and actually very drastic action that he's actually trying to pressurize against people who actually call him a fake Satoshi, because he has always claimed himself to be the Satoshi, to be the founder or creator of the original Bitcoin, meaning the dominant coin today, basically the one with the biggest market cap today. So he is always claiming himself to be the creator, but yet there was so many evidence, especially in Wikipedia as well, that actually showed that he has actually forged a lot of documents just to prove he is the one, right? And plus, just logically, if he is really the founder and creator of the Bitcoin, the core Bitcoin, which is the number one coin by market cap today, why does he need to actually create another coin, right? And to compete with Bitcoin, right? And similar names and Bitcoin SV. SV stands for Satoshi Vision, and he has always claimed that he is the one, right? And when people, when the Twitter users, including like Hodonot, the person who started off the Lightning Torch movement, and many others actually call him out that he is a fake Satoshi, he is actually threatening each one with legal action, right? And including, he even threatened to say he want to find out who is actually Hodonot. And that just shows that he's even pushing the limits to actually wanting to actually pursue further actions. It's not just legal actions to sue people, it's actually even more than that, and that immediately caused Hodonot to actually close his account and so forth. So very drastic action on his part, and that is also why then led to a lot of actions, very strong actions as well from the community as a whole, the majority of the community. And so actually then Binance has actually led the charge, right, to say that they have actually published official news. A few days ago, they have already threatened to say they will delist Bitcoin SV if this kind of action continues. But regardless, right, it doesn't stop. And Binance yesterday has actually made a public announcement, an official announcement, that they basically said that they will delist Bitcoin SV, right? And of course, before that, they said they always reviewed each of their projects, each of their assets listed on their platform, and they will delist if the one of the criteria is not met. And I believe, if looking at the criteria here, it is quoted that some of the criteria include commitment of team to project, level and quality of development activity, network smart contract stability, level of public communication, responsiveness to our periodic due diligence requests, evidence of unethical fraudulent conduct, contribution to a healthy and sustainable crypto ecosystem. So I believe, right, that Binance have decided to delist Bitcoin SV mainly because of the last 2 points, which is evidence of unethical or fraudulent conduct and contribution to a healthy and sustainable crypto ecosystem. Now, so they have given the investors 7 days to actually, pull out all their funds and actually go elsewhere. So the thing is, because Binance is the largest crypto exchange by volumes, right, this announcement has a visible impact that basically has led to more than 10% drop in the price of Bitcoin SV. And all the other major crypto exchanges are also, thinking of following in the move. So Kraken has actually put out a poll asking Twitter users on what they think. Should they delist? So basically, they still have 8 hours left from the point of recording. So, but CZ has actually said publicly that, Kraken will delist Bitcoin SV very soon as well. Similarly, Shapeshift is also, decided to delist Bitcoin SV, but in conflict with everyone else, right? OKEx, which is a Hong Kong-based exchange, they have come out and actually support Bitcoin SV, and it is a very, very very, very clear support, because they actually have entered into a partnership with an exchange, led or invested by Craig Wright, right, called floatsv.com, that they're going to launch their own exchange, right, before end of this week. That's what they're going to do. And OKEx is one of the partner investors, right? So very, very interesting. And they basically have said, OKEx have actually officially said as well that, they have looked at all the criteria. They have reviewed the project of Bitcoin SV again, looked at their compliance, looked at their technological developments, and look at the liquidity, and they decided that, they will want to be neutral, and they will keep listing OKEx. And of course, Germanize have reminded people that they did not list Bitcoin SV at the start, so there's no need to delist Bitcoin SV at this point. So the thing is, then, my own view is, right, I also support the view of delisting a coin like this, because this kind of action is really, really unprofessional. Basically, you are saying there's no freedom of speech, right, by people who claim that you are fraud, right? You can pursue legal action, that's fine, but do not attempt anything further than that, right? Like finding out the identity of the person. It actually means, right, that they are more than that. Is actually going to extortion, or more criminal activity already. It's not just pursuing legal action, yeah? So there's no freedom of speech in this case. But at the same time, though, by exchanges taking the decision to actually delist these coins, yeah, it is in conflict with the idea of decentralization of freedom, that people are free to do what they want. But you can also say that the exchanges are free to do what they want, right? Because then you have as well that if Craig Wright is so great, then he just launched his own exchange, which is exactly what he's doing now, right? So in a way, I still think, although there are conflicting points, I do see it and I do recognize, I still support that, the major exchange, if they feel it is righteous to do so, and I believe then, everyone has a point of view, and they should just follow what they think is right. And in the case of Binance, they have a very strong point of view that they, want to do what's right for the community. And in this case, they go ahead, and I support that kind of view, right? But of course, there are people who don't agree, like like OKEx, right? And then they go ahead and support Craig Wright, and it just, time will tell who will get more support in the end, right? And whether this project will survive. You see, the problem is this, that when you have so many versions of Bitcoin, right, a lot of the newbies actually get confused, yeah? And so more education need to come into place to actually educate them about which are the ones that are actually the pure one, which are the one that is the more correct one. They need to be aware of the history to how all these newer version of Bitcoin, different version of Bitcoin forks are created, right? And so that's just that's just basically more hurdles for newbies to actually come in and embrace crypto completely, right? And all this kind of unprofessional conduct, exchange among people, among the community, is also not helpful to actually push this asset class to more mainstream, yeah? Next, we have big British travel firm to accept Bitcoin. So the leading travel agency in Britain, UK, called Corporate Traveller, they are now partnering with BitGo to actually accept Bitcoin as one form of payment, and that's very good news for the adoption of Bitcoin. And day by day is news like this that actually pushes, usage of crypto and Bitcoin as well. Now, though, of course, as a start, for now, that they are not going to keep the crypto, they are going to convert back to the sterling pounds, right? Which is what a lot of merchants usually do, because currently the pricing is still very volatile for them to actually fully embrace Bitcoin. But the fact that they are still at least taking one step to say they accept Bitcoin and partnering with BitGo, that's actually a very good first step, right? And of course, recently as well, we have BitGo also partnering with FNet, is another Fortune 500 electronic distributor, also to accept Bitcoin, but similarly they are converting back to the fiat money. But still, again, it's just like more example of this will actually be very, very good. It just takes a matter of time until more and more companies begin to embrace, right? Similarly, Switzerland Online, the major online retailer, as well, is in this fold. Yeah. Next, we have a study done, right, by BitGo as well. BitGo, global custodian, and the state crypto. They found that 94% of endowments are invested in cryptocurrency, and that is very, very encouraging. So they interviewed 150 endowment funds. So endowment funds is like your university funds, for example, like your Stanford, Yale, Harvard, and so forth. They found that out of the 150 endowment funds, they have 94% have invested, and when asked if they will increase their what they will plan to do with these holdings, right, over the next 12 months, 55% of this endowment funds said they will increase their actually holdings of crypto in the next 12 months, and majority of them said they will hold. That means they will keep their level constant, and only 7% said they will scale back, they will reduce their investments. And not only that, most of these investments, more than half of this, is directly into crypto. So very, very, very positive news, right? And this also ties in with yesterday's video that I did that covers, say, Binance research found that 7% of the crypto holdings today is by institutions. Why so low, and why we have so many endowments invested in crypto is that, you see, this 94% of endowments invested in crypto, this could be a very small percentage of their holdings, right? So in terms of dollar amount, it is probably not huge versus the whole market cap of today. And also you have a lot of pension funds, a lot of sovereign wealth funds, a lot of institutions that are not yet invested in crypto as well. So there's still a lot of room to grow. But what is encouraging though is that a lot of endowment funds are embracing it. It's no longer like just wishful thinking. They are already in this space, right? It's just that now there are just more and more awareness to the public that they are invested. But of course, in terms of percentage of the total holdings of crypto, institutions still constitute a very small percent. It's just 7% of the total market cap is by institutions only. Yeah, but that just also shows that therein lies the opportunity. Yeah. Last one is the IMF and World Bank. They have issued something called a learning coin. So basically, it's not a real cryptocurrency, and it is within their confines of just their organizations. And what they want to do is basically, in their words, they said, right, this experiment or this exercise is actually mainly to address their knowledge gap with regards to cryptocurrency, with regards to blockchain. And that is very, very interesting because one, it is encouraging because they do recognize that they have a knowledge gap in this regard, right? But at the same time, they are very strong incumbents. They have every interest to make sure that the fiat continue to stay as the main use of medium of payment and major use of storage of value, right? But because here you have cryptocurrencies that are not issued, they are not controlled by the banks and also by this World Bank and IMF. So it is not surprising that they will have this kind of response, right? It is very surprising if they so fast embraced Bitcoin, right? Though there is so much opportunity. For example, if the World Bank and IMF were really one of their mission is really to reduce poverty in the world, right? And actually, they should just recognize that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a very, very good tool in achieving that mission. Because, like, for example, in places like Africa, right, where a lot of the citizens don't have access to banks, right? But because just with a mobile phone, they can easily access crypto. And just like that, they can raise funds, right? They can just, based on blockchain and use of crypto, they can get lending from 50,000 people of $1 each, and they just need this money, and they then can invest in their agricultural farm, right, for better tools, better machineries, and that can just increase their productivity. And for them to pay back, it just is also not that hard, right? So that is the use of blockchain. And why is that possible? Is because that they have mobile phone, they can then, it's just internet and mobile phone, they can get the funds immediately, right? And they can access the global pool of investors who can definitely afford $1. I mean, this is just an extreme example, but I mean, just to show that the potential, right, of usage of crypto. But, but again, why is World Bank not immediately embracing? Perhaps there's really a knowledge gap that it'd be good if they close that first. Second, maybe it's just they need to buy time to really embrace this such a new thing, right? This completely, completely change their paradigm of thinking, right? It's basically upside down, yeah? So from something that's so centralized to something that's decentralized, it is completely turn what they know upside down. So it is not easy. Change is not easy, but I think they already recognize that it is inevitable, so they might as well just start to learn first, right? So their response, just based on this, you can say that their response is going to be slow, yeah? So regardless, I think the community is anyway going ahead, right? Like you have Wall Street coming in, Fidelity are already offering crypto custody solutions. You have already major corporations already start to accept Bitcoin, right? And it's just a matter of time. And again, with the churn of the population, just naturally a new population of millennia will be much more comfortable with using cryptocurrency than fiat money. So with that, right, it's all positive, honestly, I see, and the long-term potential is positive. So with that, I just want to end it here, and I hope you're having a great day. If you like this, please subscribe, please leave a like and comment, yeah? And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for all your support.